Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovely co-host,
Sara Levine, and birthday girl today.
Oh, today's your actual birthday?
Yeah, today's my actual birthday. Yay, I'm
Happy
28.
birthday.
Thank you.
And we are here as for Sarah's birthday. We have a child's party entertainer. I'm totally kidding. She's the amazing host of a great podcast that has even had me on it a few times. What an honor. I've been on Keith and the Girl. She is the girl of Keith and the Girl. Give it up for Chemda, everybody. I know I said give it up.
Thank you.
I know, we're all going to
I'll just wait. Thank you for gendering me right. Sarah, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like you should have given a heads up. I would have brought my balloon animals.
Oh my
wow,
God.
I fucked up so bad.
Do you not think your birthday is a big deal? Like, do you not make a big deal out of it?
No, I mean, I'm excited. I'm 28. It's kind of a random birthday, but I celebrated on Friday. Did like a thing at a bar with like a bunch of people. So now it's Tuesday and I'm kind of like, whatever, it's Tuesday.
Wow, I'm so not as nice as you are about my birthday. I'm like, where's my massage?
Hell yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's my special day. I came out of a vagina. Like,
Right.
Pretty crazy. Well, I think I was born via C-section, but still.
oh, okay.
Close enough.
Well, maybe
Close
that's
enough.
why I'm such an asshole about it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, there's an entitlement you have
Yes.
when
Yeah.
you're vagina born.
You can tell, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I actually have never asked you about this on your show, but like I kind of do think of, you know, I feel because Keith and the Girl is like 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's an older show, but I guess
Amazing.
through today's politically correct lens, the girl almost kind of plays a little bit like, well, she's just the girl, man.
Yeah, I get so much shit for that. And what's weird is I get it through Keith, and I'm like, well, since you're so feminist, you can talk directly to me. No, it's really a
that's
weird
interesting.
thing. Yeah, it really brings out a lot of people's weird fake PC stuff. Because even somebody was like, oh, I can't believe you're called the girl. Meanwhile, I named the show. Thank you very much.
I mean, it's
Oh, my
catchy.
God.
Thank you. And Keith and Chemda doesn't really roll off. And like people have been like, well, you can at least be Keith and the pretty girl. And I'm like, ew, that's your
worse.
version
That's,
of...
yeah, that's way worse.
Yeah, how is that your feminist version of Keith and the Girl? But when we started, I wasn't in comedy. I was pursuing singing, and Keith was my boyfriend. Please don't hold it against me.
So funny.
And he wanted to start a podcast, but he didn't really like the idea of talking to himself. And so it was really...
Really? Is
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, isn't that so flattering? I wasn't going to be on it because he was so much more open with his personal life than I was. And I didn't want to stop that. Like, I did not agree with everything that he said on his blog, which he had like a pretty popular blog. And so I wanted to not stifle that. You know, if he wants to talk about the weirdness of like his dating life or his history, his parents, you know, he was so open about it. And I even said that in his blog when we started dating, he would speak openly about our sex life. And I was totally cool with that. But I was like, maybe don't put Chemda because I'm pursuing my own thing and the internet was so new. I didn't want like his stories about me to come up first. So he'd be like, me and the girl, blah, blah, blah. So he'd find creative ways to not say my name. So when this started, I said, hey, Keith and the Girl is so fitting. This is your show. It started off very much for him, but I fell in love with it super easy. And by the third show, I was like, I had 2 abortions. I got to tell you everything.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Only
Not
2?
the abortions,
No,
just the whole history of the show.
yeah, no,
are
that's
amazing.
great. That's rich. I didn't know that. So you were also telling us that you used to be a children's party entertainer. I mean, that is
Yes.
incredible.
For like 12 or 13 years.
Oh my God.
I loved it. I've always loved children. I don't want any of my own, but I love borrowing kids and like hanging out and like especially getting paid for hanging out with your kids. But it was always about kids. I tutored, I babysat, I
Right.
did kids parties, and then I got into comedy. And I don't know, kids were not as funny anymore.
Why, when I tell people I like to borrow kids, everyone gets super weird? I mean,
You
no.
have a vibe.
Yeah.
So you did a variety of things, kind of, but like, did you like dress as like you said you had balloon animals earlier? You were
I
serious.
did balloon animals, face
Wow.
painting, kitty magic. I ran double dare games. I was Dora the Explorer. I was
You were
Power Ranger. I was at some point. I was a Power Ranger every weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you could see the lining of my undies and bra. Oh my God. I was like, you need to make this a little thicker. We are with kids. It was so weird. But it was such a cool job, especially for an artist. You know, it was like mostly weekends and you got to pick and choose. And sometimes you were the big head costumes, just sweating through the summer. But But at some point, like by the middle of this career, it feels funny to say my clown career, I was making $100 an hour, which, even now is really decent.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was able to make like all my money on the weekend or whenever flexible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. In other news, I'm quitting.
Wow. I want to be a clown now. Forget comedian. This is way too hard. Let's just go clown. That sounds great. So you were mentioning also that, the kids, they're gems, but the parents, nightmare.
I mean, the parents will be a nightmare way before the kids will be. I'm not saying kids are all perfect, but they're a lot easier to be like, shut the fuck up. But the parents, they'll get really upset. Like they'll get genuinely upset with you about things where it's like, wow, you really can't manage your emotions very well.
Oh.
Like, you're 10 minutes late, which granted in a 1 hour party, that's not cool, but they're like, they'll open the door and just, you ruined my whole party. And I'm like, this is a 2-year-old's party and they just shot their pants. I don't know how to explain that this is not that important, but you kind of have to bring it back and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get started right away. I'm always a late person. So I learned how to like get everything really organized, like 5 seconds into when I walk in. So I made up for it. One time I walk in, and I'm going to be Dora the Explorer for real for these 2-year-olds. And I walk in like me and then I change there because, it's, sometimes I would I would drive my car or take the train as a clown. I fully was like not embarrassed by any of it.
I thought you were going to say drive a giant tricycle with a huge front tire. Isn't that the only way a clown can go?
Oh, that is just perfect. Yes.
Or a tiny car with 1 million people in it.
Yes. Yeah, like a New York City apartment.
Yeah. True.
And so I come in and not a lot of children's party entertainers are like even brown skin, black skin, like there's no ethnicity there. So I played like every ethnic character.
Oh my God.
So I'm Dora the Explorer. And it's not like I look like Dora the Explorer, but your kid is 2 and I'm coming out of the TV. Okay. I had the outfit, I had the backpack, I had, the cadence with 2-year-olds. I was good with them. And this woman opened the door and she's like, oh my God, you don't look anything like Dora. And I'm like, I swear to God, I'm going to trick your kids so hard. You're going to think they're stupid. You're going to worry and like have them take tests for intellect. Like that's how good I'm going to be. I didn't say that, but it was like very, like, listen, you can be upset with me, but do you want me to start? Right. So by the time I started, she already called the company to complain.
Oh my God.
By the time I was done, she was so happy she tipped me. So I still got the complaint from the office, but they know how crazy parents are. So they were like, yeah, we are totally cool with this.
They're like, oh, sorry, our real Dora lookalike was out on a job. What are they going to do?
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was really fun. But when the kids were jerks, like we had, I knew like some stilt walkers and some people who really, this craft is really hard, like jugglers that can juggle, like they'll wow adults also. And so bar mitzvahs would hire these people. Big mistake. So I talked to a stilt walker once, and it's a very dangerous job, and you're amongst like 12-year-old assholes. And this one kid kept trying to push him over.
Oh shit!
And he goes, "Yeah, like just you're so comfortable as an 11, 12, 13-year-old going like this man is gonna just fall down on his stilts."
Oh my God!
So the guy leaned over and he's like, "If you fucking touch me one more goddamn time, I'm gonna rip your fucking face off. Do you get what I'm saying?" Like right in his eye. And the kid didn't bother him. And we've all had little moments like that where it's like, oh, you're really an asshole and no one has ever talked to you in the way that you're gonna get spoken to as an adult.
Right.
So shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
And it's fine. I think that's the right way to do it. Like,
yeah.
you're going to kill a human being. I can get to use the word fuck on you.
I think that's fair.
That seems fair to me. Now, I have another question because I think it's really interesting. You know, comedians will like kind of call each other clowns. It's kind of, but I would be way more afraid to play a room of not 2-year-olds because like what are they? That's just amoebas. But like
That's true.
7 to like 14. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, those are the meanest people on the planet.
But did you have an act? That was did you kind of have a set? Did you know what was going to go down?
Yeah, I had so many. I had the set for your 2-year-old, for your 4-year-old, for your 7-year-old, for 11-year-old.
Can you give us a 7-year-old bit or like?
It's not. It's like I had these kitty magic things, and so we're pretending to bake a cake, and I'm like, okay. I create this invisible oven on stage that all I do is, just make a box with my hands. And I'm like, now we're going to open it up. And I pretend like it's too hard. Now everybody's pretending from their seat to open it. And then when they do open it, I fall down because they opened it so hard. Like junk like that.
That's cute.
You know what I mean? Just really silly things.
I'm just seeing the other clown like coming up to you like, hey, you going to do ovens or what? Can I do ovens tonight? Because ovens is the hit. And, my set it's rough. I'm trying out some new tonight. That's really great.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, like old man jokes that work on them. Like you go to the birthday kid, how old are you? And he's like 6. And I'm like, 60? Wow. And they're like, no, you're crazy, man.
I always do that joke I think I did it at your birthday party. I mean, I pretty much never miss it. And like, it was something my mom always like set up for us to do. But it's like every birthday she'd have, it'd be like, happy 25th, mom. It's just like.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, do you think that's a classic bit or is it tired? Should I retire? Am I becoming a dad joker? That's what I'm afraid of.
Oh, were you not to begin with?
I have to go. I'm hurt.
Please see your way out. No, the 25-year-old again is very hilarious.
It's classic, right? Because you're flat. It's a little flattering.
It's great.
It's fantastic. Every woman is very flattering.
Kids understand, but...
Yeah, no, to a kid, it's a little weird. You're turning 14, you look like you're turning 10.
Yeah.
Huh? Like, no, so I'm big boy now. Okay. All right, well, I think we're ready to get this show started. We got...
I'm so excited to do this.
I'm pumped.
It's so... Yeah, I grew up in New York. I'm happy to tell anyone when they're being an asshole.
Yes.
I love the whole thing.
I can't wait. Well, we got 2 situations, and then we actually got a lot of stuff today. It's going to be juicy. Our second story of the day, AITA for not fessing up to causing a coworker's allergic reaction.
Ha.
But first...
I guess that wasn't the right response.
AITA for not agreeing that I, M23, male 23, was raised by a single mom. By you, Jose F. McLovin.
Goodness.
Wow, what are the chances, McLovin? My parents got divorced when I was 6 years old, and they had equal 50-50 custody of me and my older sister until each of us turned 18. My dad has remarried pretty quickly, and my mom has a few boyfriends who came and went over the years. Nothing too crazy and was single most of the time. What made me mad was that from time to time, my mom, F59, makes comments about how she raised my sister and I as a single parent. I disagree and tell her that she raised us half of the time while the other half we were raised by our dad, M58. Male 58. She then says that he didn't do much and that we were raised by a single mom who did everything for us. She even has my sister in the same mindset that because she was single, she was a single parent. AITA for saying that she's using the quote single parent unquote label incorrectly.
Oh, you sound like so much fun. Let's just get that right there. Yes. Yeah, I just want to know what to tell my therapist on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Was I in a bad situation or a good one? Please say bad. Please say bad.
I mean, I think it's, I'm aware because my father has called me and accused us of being a man-hating podcast.
It's my fault, I'm sure.
So I was
Good
a little
job,
proud
Sara.
of it because I'm a man coming for men. So there I go. But
yeah, we're doing it. Feminism.
And I feel you, Chemda. I think there is something like, okay, like, are you really going to be the guy who's like, no, mom, you're not a single man. It's like, you freaking loser. But on the other hand, isn't it a little rude to the father?
Yeah, and also I think it's kind of rude to single moms who are literally like don't have male help or like other parental help.
Right. Because a single mother is generally someone where the father left or the father died or something like that.
Yeah, or just his MIA. That's what I think of anyway when I hear single mom.
I mean, I think your mom's mad at your dad. And for, I feel like, if you had 50-50 custody and you actually remember your childhood going 50% to their house and 50% to that house, if your mom is still mad, stop arguing with her about whether she was a single mom and find out the real juicy gossip.
Right.
What's she upset about? Was he with this woman before?
Right.
There's not usually this much anger left over if you were 50-50. Unless your mom's a psycho, in which case, here's your opportunity to find out.
Right.
This is a good point.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where parents don't even want to talk about, what happened in the divorce or like you're too young to really understand. But I don't know. Think about when you were mad at like a significant other, you don't want someone arguing with you like, no, they were totally there for you.
That's so true.
Yeah. I mean, I think the like, you want to get to the underlying truth, right? Like you're kind of just being a dickhead by being like, no, you weren't. No, you were. It's like, find out what this is really coming from because it obviously reflects some kind of like deeply held resentment,
Yeah. And if you're going to keep going, no, you weren't, your mom's going to shut down and you won't really get to hear the hot goss. Like every time.
It shouldn't be about solving these family issues. It's about the tea.
Yeah.
Give me the juice.
Like every time, the older generation is more shut down than the younger generation always. So if your mom is finally opening up about this 50-50 divorce, maybe she is bitter. Find out why.
That's true. I also think there's like so much, and honestly, it's stereotypically women who do this. Like there's so much emotional labor that all the women do that the men don't do. So like even if the dad is doing 50-50 custody, he might not be like planning all the meals and coordinating who's going to pick the kids up and who's going to take them to the doctor and like all this other unspoken stuff.
Can I stop you for a second there? Because I've run into that term.
You are so anti-feminine.
Oh my God.
How dare you stop me?
Oh my God.
Chemda.
It's finally happening.
On her birthday.
They're taking my head. They're taking my head.
Happening?
No, take the wire off. Take the piano wire off away from my neck. So you said emotional labor, and I had actually never heard that term, and I started running into it similarly. But then all the examples you said to me, I would just call labor, right? You were like taking the kids to school, making plans and stuff like that. What is emotional labor?
I think emotional labor is
not yelling at you constantly.
Yes.
Seems like a low bar for work.
Yeah. No, it really is just like the unspoken things. And a lot of it is like planning and coordination that people don't count as work, but is necessary to like keep often the household running is when it's referred to like planning out the meals, like figuring out like the grocery shopping, like
that's
stuff like that.
Emotional labor?
Taking into account how you're feeling when we're talking about groceries and going around your emotions that you can't handle so that we can get to the end result.
Okay.
That's emotional labor. So you might be like kind of in the middle of like starting your hissy fit. I will calm down more so that we don't escalate this. So I'm always sort of like sidestepping your emotions, so that we can come to an agreement so that our kid can have a better life.
Is part of it just also like as simple as listening? Like, does that count for emotional labor? Like, like hearing your partner vent and stuff like that? Is that?
I think that can count.
Okay. Well, it was actually used at a roast. They kept saying this guy caused a lot of emotional labor, and he's a very loud man. So that's he's loud and tall and white. Enough said.
Too much.
Yeah.
I'm a man hater.
I can't do it.
Well, Jenna C. writes, YTA for not having the emotional intelligence to realize she is seeking acknowledgement and love. She may have co-parented, but it sounds like the work required to support a household, which she pays for 100% of the time, whether you're physically present or not, was done alone. I think that's a really good look into where she's coming from because, like, on the one hand, I think it's kind of like a little bit irresponsible for her to, like, if she was going out and be like, I was a single parent in front of like a single mom who's going to probably take some umbrage with that.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was actually a single mom. But, like, she was saying it, like, to him, I mean, based on the situation. But, like,
he's right.
He's right.
He's absolutely
He's right. But he's also, like, she's also right, too. Like,
what's he getting out of being right here?
Nothing.
That's what you really have to think about. Like, you are absolutely right. What are you getting out of your mom knowing that you're right? Like, technically, this is terrible of you to say. Like, do you really need to be the PC police for your mom? Or do you want to have an adult relationship with her where, like this person said,
right.
she's trying to tell you something.
Yes.
So have the emotional labor in your back pocket to be like, before I judge this, before I get angry about this, let me get curious about it. And then I'll have the information to hate her. And then go ahead and hate her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think this comes up often a lot on like Reddit and probably in the podcast. Like people conflate being right with not being the asshole. And it's like, no, you can still be technically right, but you're kind of being an asshole right now.
Well, and I think part of that is that she's not totally wrong. She's not the most conventional version of a single parent. And like, I could see a single parent being offended, but like, she did not, like, this is not an ideal. This is not the family situation that anyone is idealizing.
I don't know. She's wrong. I think she's wrong, but it doesn't matter.
Well, but
I don't think she's a single mom, but I also think there's a difference between like having someone basically not having like full-time help. She kind of has like part-time parenting help, but not the full-time. So,
but that's not a single mom.
You're okay. Yeah,
But like,
I'm
guys,
with you. She's not a single mom. She's like half. She's not.
She's not a single mom.
She's not.
It's okay, but you don't have
She
to
was
be.
a mom and she was single at the time.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that doesn't like conjure the same thing when you say
No, it's
you're
not
a single
the same,
mom.
but it's not the same also as being in a loving, committed marriage, right? And like, just to
But you don't know that the father was in a loving, committed marriage. It might have been more tough for him to be, shacked up with this woman.
Absolutely. She may
Find
be
out
terrible.
the hot gosh.
She
I
may
don't
be
know.
Come
terrible.
on, OP, deliver.
But to see her side a bit, right? OP says, my dad has remarried pretty quickly and my mom has a few boyfriends who came and went over the years. And look, there is a plight, to being a single mom, right? Or like there, I said it, because she kind of is a single mom, you guys. She kind of is.
In the dating world, I think
Yes.
that's where she would be seen as a single mom because it's like you're a single woman and you got kids.
Yes.
And like
there you go.
that's how you're going to be.
Which sucks, right? Which sucks.
It does suck.
I think, Sarah, you hit it, and she that might be where in her head she's right. Like, she has encountered the world looking at her as a single mom in the dating world, or maybe like, just in the sad, like, oh, you're not with a man world. Like, if you talk to her a little more before you just get mad at like the technical difficulties of this conversation, you might find out what she means by that. Yeah. And you could still be right at the end of it, but then you'll be not an asshole. Yeah. You'll just be right for the right reasons.
Right.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Rusty M says, why TA? But not going to lie, I came in to say NTA until I read the comments. I was probably using the same logic as you, but you're thinking about the fact that you had 2 or 3 parents in your life. But from her point of view, she was the only parent in her home with you. He might have taken care of you and your sister half the week, but when you're with her, she was responsible for everything all on her own.
Yeah, which I think is kind of, I mean, I don't know this lady, but probably more what she was getting at. Was like when she was on duty, she was doing everything herself.
Well, yeah. And I mean, what would you say? So like maybe she's getting alimony or child support.
I mean, yeah.
From this guy,
and split custody.
Like, yeah. And split custody. But like, split custody is not the same as having kids with someone else, with someone, right? Like,
also, do you know that your mom was getting that custody money? Right. Maybe she's mad because she didn't. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Make some tea and sit down and shut the fuck up.
Is tea your thing? But
I guess so.
I was offered
tea.
Good. I tried to turn it down. Hemda's like, have some tea. Yep. Are you being shy? I was like, fine, I'll have tea. I'm not shy. I'm a big boy.
I am half Persian and they love tea.
Rico P says, question for you. The ask is, quote, am I the asshole? Not, quote, might I be technically correct? Wow. Echoing your statements, Chemda. He says, so do you think it's possible to be semantically correct and still an asshole for insisting in any context? Because a mother trying to feel venerated, I don't even know what that means, and appreciated by her child strikes me as a time, if any, to bend a strict adherence to semantic purity.
Okay, this guy used too many big words.
This comment hurts my head.
You sound so smart.
He does. Even maybe, I don't even know if these words were used correctly. We'll just assume
that he's smarter than us.
Yeah, totally.
Let's give it to him. Top comment on Reddit, tech_philosophy. Heck of a username. Let's hang out, tech philosophy. Bitcoin, NTA, but context is key. If she is trying to convince you of this or override your narrative, feel free to talk about how your dad helped raise you. On the other hand, If it's something she says to herself or her friends, let her. There are probably hardships your parents went through raising you while divorced that there's just no word for. Try to be compassionate about that, but don't let her walk over your dad if you feel he pulled his weight. So I think that I don't
like that, because then it implies that the mom is the asshole. I don't really feel like she is.
Also, like, you can't defend your dad. Your dad defends your dad. You be the kid still. Don't defend your mom. Don't defend your dad. You don't even have enough information.
Yeah, no, I ultimately that's where I'm kind of settling here. But like this, there's so many things that she could mean by this. It could mean like, I felt like raising you was really hard. Like it wasn't fun for me. And it probably wasn't. She's got boyfriends in and out of the door. It was probably pretty brutal for her. Her dad, had a consistent, he remarried quickly. Like, so it could be coming from that. It could be coming from like her dad was sincerely a dickhole. We don't know. She could just be merely jealous of him because he went on to have an okay life, Yeah,
she could be completely petty. Is your mom a petty bitch? Then be an asshole. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I can't believe you're not using the exact words that I can relate to it. Just chill the fuck out.
Yeah. And like, is she trashing the dad all the time, or is this just like one instance in which she's kind of sort of implying to throw him under the bus?
Yeah, you would think you would have more examples. If this is really about shitting on dad, like it's pretty I mean, it's kind of a weird, bad negative.
It's like it's almost a non-insult. Like, okay, whatever, who cares?
And even if she's constantly shitting on your dad, still don't defend him. Maybe your dad was a shitty dad in a way that you don't know. He was a good dad to you, but a bad co-parent with your mom.
Right.
Don't defend that either. Just go, you know what? I'd rather not hear that about dad. Why don't you tell it directly to him?
Yeah, and I think at this point, he's 18 and I think, or over 18, that's appropriate. Your parents are people at this point.
Fight with my dad if you have something to say. I don't care. Maybe he is an asshole. What do you want to do today?
So, AITA for not agreeing that I was raised by a single mom. Ultimately, I am going to say YTA because I don't think there's enough evidence to bring down like mom. And I think he is being kind of a semantic, smart ass.
Yeah, because I think if there was more reason, you'd be happy to share it with us,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say YTA on that.
Yeah, YTA.
YTA. AITA for not fessing up to causing a coworker's allergic reaction by you, HeadBoysenberry.
What?
I'm the king of the boysenberry.
Supposed to be the assistant boysenberry.
Oh man, this one is a doozy. Last week, one of my coworkers started to feel unwell, and another coworker took her to the ER. She was having an allergic reaction. She has an allergy towards peanuts, and thinking back on it, I probably caused a reaction since we both had to use the same computer to check order, and I had peanut butter on my waffles that morning.
Wash your goddamn hands. I'm sorry, please continue.
I definitely don't think I washed my hands after either. Once somebody got the call she was okay, they asked us all in a group who had peanut butter that day, and I stayed completely silent. Well, yesterday she came back into work. She was fine and everything, but apparently the trip to the ER still cost her $300 after insurance. Damn, that's kind of a deal. Plus the money she lost not going to work for 2 days. Our coworkers all sympathized, and a few started saying whoever had the peanut butter should have to pay.
What?
Since I wasn't part of the conversation, I just heard them from across the room. I just focused on my work and tried to avoid the subject for the rest of the day. AITA.
What a weird witch hunt.
I was going to exactly use that phrase.
Really?
Why did the workers think it was appropriate to have a peanut butter witch hunt? Like, what?
That's strange. First of all, does it say no peanut butter in your office? Because I think your bosses are assholes for not making this a top priority. If like residual peanuts on my hand is going to kill you, I think like the bosses should pay for that.
Yeah, on your hand on the keyboard. Like that's a very serious allergy that everybody else should know about.
And also just being like whoever it was should pay it. Like,
no.
What world do you live in? If it was you, you wouldn't feel that way.
Yeah,
it's true.
Like, oh, let's find the killer. Okay, we're not in the movie Clue. With the peanuts on their hands with the keyboard. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who's severely allergic to shellfish, and it's this level where she said if I were to throw a shrimp at her, like, and it bounced off her jacket, that she would probably have to be hospitalized.
Well, thank you for the alert. I think peanut butter people should say the same thing.
Absolutely. You've
Danny,
gotta...
just stop throwing shrimp at people.
No, I won't, Sarah. I'm throwing a lobster at you. He's still alive.
You are lucky Sarah's around because she is teaching you the ABCs.
I'm learning quick. Don't throw crustaceans. Yeah, so like, I don't know. And then she's always been, you know, obviously if we're going out to eat, she's going to bring it up or like anything that would come. I mean, it's kind of your responsibility because like it's your odd thing. So like you've got to tell everyone about it, you know?
Normally, I would say you are absolutely an asshole because I think, you know, to like shuck, you know, this whole your responsibility or just even the truth onto like just the atmosphere and just twiddle your thumbs while people are trying to find out the truth is a dick move and you're not good with confrontation and that's kind of a pussy thing. But your whole office sounds like an asshole. Your whole office is like, well, we didn't do it, so we're going to find out who did.
Well, I kind of feel like their vibe was like our coworker was victimized. You
Doesn't sound like it.
Well, yeah, I think it was a witch hunt, but like they got someone who had to go to the ER. I mean, that's horrible, you know, so they're mad at the waffler.
But the other thing is like, what if it probably wouldn't have even occurred to me if that really is the situation that I had caused that. You know, like it would take a lot of like brain, like, you know, going through my brain.
Well, it's very possible that they didn't. I mean, if it's literally trace amounts, because we're talking about peanut butter.
That's what I'm saying. It could have been anyone. So why are they like gathering up the office?
It could be any one of us.
I did it. I'm the peanutter.
I feel like they're making a really bad situation worse by trying to you know, there's a thing about if something's fucked up, look up. Don't blame like the people in your circle of financial difficulty.
Right.
It's not a coworker. It's the policy of your workplace that needed to be put in place. And now they should be paying for it. So instead of doing the witch hunt on like other people who probably have the same financial difficulty, look up at your boss and go, we demand that you pay for this. No matter who did this to this person, they shouldn't be responsible for it, and give her back the money for the 2 days that she was out.
Right. I mean, the top comment on Reddit was really like, none of you guys should be paying for this. Workers' comp should be paying for all of this, especially the lost wages. So it seems like a non-issue, which makes me wonder if this post is fake now that I think about it.
No, because workplaces are not always like up to code or taking responsibility for their employees.
Or maybe this person didn't think it was that likely, you know, or didn't know how sensitive they were. Sometimes allergies can get worse with time, you know. True. I mean, there's some leeway for that to be no one's fault, really.
It's not anyone's fault. She didn't go, oh, I did remember that post that went around when this woman got hired that like no more peanuts in the no more peanuts, peanut butter, or any peanut products in the workplace.
Right.
If that doesn't exist, then you get to have that. Doesn't matter if you washed your hands or didn't. There's no information.
Right. Or like, oh, I forgot I smeared peanut butter on the keyboard on purpose.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think your coworkers will treat you like you are a killer. And who the hell needs that?
No, there's no reason for this person to come out. You know, I would feel guilty, but I'd be like, well, that's not my bad.
I think you can even stop feeling guilty. It wasn't your intent to do that. You felt bad enough that this person was, you know, going to the hospital. Sounds like you need this job and you can't afford to lose it, and that you would lose it for idiotic reasons that actually your bosses are responsible for. So I don't know. I'm usually all about like, just tell the truth because it'll set you free.
Yeah.
But it'll set you free to no job.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And do we really need these people who are so allergic to peanut butter? I mean, how weak are you?
Get rid of them.
Like allergic to shellfish, I get it. It's a sea bug. It's a little freak. But peanut butter? Crystal C writes, you kind of dance around whether or not you knew someone who touches the same stuff as you has an allergy, which I probably think means you did know and just didn't think about it / care. So YTA definitely.
Oh, I don't even care if you don't care. It is. I really don't. It's not up to you to remember every single person's allergies and that your peanut butter can kill someone. You shouldn't have peanut butter in this office because it could kill someone.
Well, what was the waffle in the office? They said they had it. They had a peanut butter waffle that morning. I guess I took that as at work.
Oh my God!
Who the fuck is having a peanut butter waffle on a work day? Actually, I actually am leaning YTA now. That's fucking crazy.
You're judging people's yum? Ugh. Why are you enjoying yourself for breakfast?
Oh, on a work day, Chemda? I mean, who are you?
I was just thinking like an Eggo, peanut butter on an Eggo. It's not that serious.
On an Eggo?
Okay,
I mean,
but
it's good.
Oh, I get it. This person's 14. I mean, this is madness.
Wait, if you had your breakfast at home and then you traveled to work, you still haven't washed your hand, that's why you're an
That's
asshole.
a little freaky.
True. That's kind of gross.
Suzanne W. writes, NTA, if she's that allergic, she should carry an EpiPen with her. If she's going to share the same computer with people, she should wipe it off. Is everyone expected to abstain from eating peanut products?
Yeah, we need way more info about this office policies.
I swear it's going to be LGBTQAP pretty soon.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
I lost everyone. No, it happened.
We're gone. Bye.
Piano wire around the neck. Kramer ate.
Sounds like Danny's into peanut butter with sex. That's all I got from that.
You know, I never did that. Guys always talk about putting peanut butter on your
balls.
Why
and then
peanut-
having a dog lick it because dogs love peanut butter.
Oh, so you mean like animal abuse?
Yeah, I never
Cool.
did it. I was saying
I'm
I
glad.
never did it.
Oh,
Okay,
good. I'm
good,
so glad you didn't do bestiality. And thank you for clearing that up.
Can I have a cookie?
No peanut butter on the
one.
cookie. Ah!
Nice. Kramer,
I do. That was a very good point. Where's your EpiPen? Peanut butter is everywhere and you're like crazy allergic to it.
I mean, people with that and even your shellfish friend, I'm just like, not even like no shade intended, but how do you guys like go about in the world? Like, what do you do on a plane? Like, what do you do in enclosed spaces with strangers you can't control?
So I always forget this term, but like going out to eat with her, it's like FBI shit. You got to call and I think it's a scratch kitchen. You need a scratch kitchen.
Which means
that?
what?
It means they do it from scratch, baby. They know, it's a term that means like they know what's in everything. Because
Wow.
like I called this pizza place I love because we're like, New York pizza, you got to have it. And I called and like the lady, she didn't even put the phone down. And I was like, hey, my friend is like severely allergic to shellfish. Do you use any fish oil or whatever? Like they had shrimp on the menu or whatever. Like I was like, can you guarantee? And she was just like, hey, is there fish in the pizza? And the guy's like, no. And I was like, that's not enough of an investigation. No. Someone will die.
Oh my God, that's bad.
You know, like.
Yeah, I really, this all goes back to the EpiPen and the responsibility just by default falls on the person who's allergic. Like, yes, we are all trying not to kill each other, especially from peanuts.
Yeah.
So just take into account that like we're not all as sensitive to your things. Just like you're not sensitive to my things either.
Yeah, but don't you think that by calling the restaurant, that's what they're attempting to do? Like, they're trying to take the onus on that.
You don't get to eat in that restaurant.
Oh, yeah, no, we didn't.
Well, yeah, so they
didn't go. We didn't go.
They didn't unless they were like 100% sure is what you're saying.
We literally gave up. We called like 4 places. I mean, so many places like.
That guy just Googled like, is fish in pizza? And he was like, nope, just says tomato sauce, dough, and cheese. Now we're good.
Second top Reddit comment. No ass by Hollerin' to Goat. No assholes here. If you're so allergic to peanuts that you need to take an ambulance to the hospital because someone who came into contact with a peanut product hours earlier then came into contact with your desk, you need to make goddamn sure that everyone knows how serious your allergy is. If, however, the person here had made that clear, based on what OP said, doesn't seem like it, then OP 1,000,000% owes this person money and a massive apology. I mean, even that, I like the example you gave him, of like, if a notice had gone out and it was like, hey, someone here is severely allergic to peanut butter.
Well, they should also tell you who it is.
Or what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Amber is severely allergic to peanut butter, so no peanut butter in the office. That's a far cry from make sure you don't have peanut butter at home because that's a trace amount at that point. I mean, it's
wild.
Crazy.
I also think it's really pompous to just spend other people's money. Like, oh, it's your fault. You should totally spend the money on that.
Yeah.
It's like,
You pay for it.
obviously no one in the office has money like that to throw around. And they don't even have sick days because you went to the ER and got
That's
docked.
a good
That's
point.
crazy.
Yeah. So it's this company is not treating you well and you're turning against each other. And that's the bad side.
It's so true. And that's like the vibe in so many workplaces, you know, and I think like that's one thing I always hate is that in America, we don't share our salary and shit and we just fuck
I hate
ourselves.
it, yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's becoming more transparent.
Yeah.
We're sharing a lot more.
Yeah.
Not as many peanuts, but information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think we all agree once again, AITA for not fessing up to causing a coworker's allergic reaction. Well, actually, no, I'm saying no assholes here.
I think the coworkers are kind of being assholes. Not the lady who had the allergic reaction. She's cool.
I disagree because I don't think it's a true witch hunt. I think they're saying that. I think they're saying that as a means of comfort to this person.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, but you're
So,
doing a
like-
very negative thing, and also you're putting the responsibility on some blank person, and most likely you know who it is because it's the only person who's like twiddling their thumbs while you guys are talking.
Boy.
So I think that you're just trying to put the responsibility on someone that is not. It's just look up. There are people above you docking this woman's pay.
Right.
That's true.
That's the only person that, and if you all got together and said, hey, she went to the ER and now she has to pay like $500 out of her pocket, some to the ER and some because you docked her pay for going to the ER. We as a group, because you're so on this person's side,
Right. That's
a
we
good
as
point.
a group are not comfortable with this. What are you going to do about it?
You got me.
That's
I'm
true.
going to
I
switch
think
to
if anything-
NTA and the office is.
Yeah, I agree because if anything, like they could start a GoFundMe. Like that would be more appropriate than being like whoever is guilty needs to pay.
Yeah. Again, but if
But
you're
also
gonna,
they shouldn't really have to do that either.
Yeah,
But I'm
if
just
you're-
saying, if you're gonna hunt for money, then that would be the like best way.
yeah, but you're right now you're like lowest common denominator caring. You know?
Yeah.
You're just like,
Oh,
I
good phrase.
yeah, you're just like, oh, I care, but I'm gonna take like the person who also is struggling and
Right.
push them.
It's
under.
just like shifting responsibility, kind of.
Yeah, you're all in the same boat. When you realize that, you'll recognize where the responsibility really lies.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, yeah, not the asshole.
And
the
the
coworkers are /company.
Coworker/company. All right. Well, we got agreement. You brought us all to the same side.
Amazing.
Well, it is Sarah's birthday.
Thank you. What a good gift.
AITA for telling my sister a quote wedding tattoo is a curse, even though I have one, and now the curse and now the curse is coming true. My partner and I are in our 30s. And we live in a country where gay marriage is illegal. We got engaged years ago, knowing we wouldn't be able to marry, but we set a wedding date, quote unquote wedding, and had a party for friends and family.
Love it.
Instead of an actual ceremony, we got matching tats. We had been together for 7 years when that happened, and it's been another 6 years since then. Anyway, my sister has been with her husband for just under 2 years. They got engaged almost as soon as they started dating, and they married 3 months ago. However, they're both not into wearing rings, so my sister suggested to her husband to get tattoos instead. I jokingly told her it's a curse, that getting a tattoo of a boyfriend/husband/partner's name will result in a breakup. And she said that my relationship is still going strong despite the curse. I said, yeah, but we were together for 7 years when we got the tattoos. And by the way, we didn't tattoo each other's names, but something else, a picture of a memory we have together. Whereas she was going for straight up, open quotes, Samuel Hart 21.6.19. I'm guessing that's a date in Europe.
Yeah,
Freaking Europeans.
they put the day first.
Put the month first, you little freaks. In huge, thick...
Shout out to confusing Danny.
Change the world because I don't like it.
We have protocol, and by the way, the steering wheel goes on the other side.
Gotcha.
Why is your money full of colors?
Oh, God, that is
Somebody
so accurate.
speak English to me. I'm in a different country.
Don't tell them about the metric system.
In huge, thick letters, she got that Samuel Hart 21.69 in huge, thick letters across her wrist. I told her not to do it and to just wear her wedding band on a necklace or something. But she told me to piss off and did it anyway. Fast forward, her marriage is falling apart. Nothing happened. They just seem to be realizing they're not a good fit. And it's only a question of time when they'll divorce. They don't even live together anymore. He moved out 3 weeks into their marriage. Now, my sis is blaming me.
3 weeks? Sorry.
3
I'm
weeks
sorry.
into their marriage.
Whoa.
Your sister is what?
Blaming me for subconsciously...
Why did you suck his dick?
No, subconsciously influencing her and making her marriage fail.
Okay.
She thinks that me saying it was a curse. wow, we got another subconsciously, made her act towards her husband in a certain way.
Wow, such voodoo your brother has you.
That resulted in him being pushed away and not loving her anymore. I've never heard of something like this before. I very much doubt I have this superpower of destroying relationships, but my sister is currently going around telling our relatives I'm the asshole that ruined her marriage.
God, leave your family.
Crazy that she's going around telling the relatives that. If she just said that in like a moment of pain, I'd be like, oh, whatever, you're being crazy,
Right.
but it'll pass.
Yeah. Yeah. What relative is taking that seriously? The relative that's taking it seriously
Come on.
just enjoys gossip.
I know we're in Europe, but come on.
Right. Anything goes in Europe.
Marriage, voodoo goes, I guess.
Yeah. The French, it's all allowed.
So why does he think he's the asshole?
Because
For making an offhanded comment like years ago about not getting a tattoo. Actually, yeah, this is like a dumb validation post.
it is
Now I'm annoyed.
it is pretty dumb, but you know what? I always get a lot of shit for saying I don't like tattoos. Isn't it just another manifestation of tattoo hate?
Well, okay.
No, there's a difference because getting a relationship tattoo or getting your partner's name is like such a common no-no. It's so
Is it a common no-no?
It is a common no.
You don't
Yeah,
do that, huh?
It is very much known as the death to your relationship. But here's the thing. I teeter between like mind your own fucking business because people are eventually and inevitably going to do exactly what they're going to do. But I also say that's how people stay in abusive, weird cycles because everyone's trying to mind their own business
Yes.
and not actually tell you how they really feel.
Yeah.
So it's like, which one is which? I think he dealt with it really well going like, hey, I got a tattoo. It didn't work out for me. That's usually like a shitty sign of things. He's just kind of like you said, offhanded or like even multiple times you could say like, hey, I get your opinion and I'm done with it and I'm just going to keep going. But what you said is you destroyed my marriage. So basically you married someone who doesn't give a shit about you and now you want an out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's your brother. Be careful of saying your brother ruined your marriage. That is a little kooky.
Super weird.
I feel like OP just kind of he chose a weird way to go about expressing that he didn't think that this marriage would work because like
Yeah, he's
clearly
bitter.
clearly this was like on a short timeline. Like they've been together for 2 years and they got engaged like very soon after they started dating. That's what he should have used as evidence not to get married, not like, oh, tattoos are a bad sign.
Well, no, but you just said that, Chemda. This is like a well-known thing. You don't do this.
Well, this person just doesn't like people's opinion and then
Yeah.
is blaming that for how her life is going bad. Well, until you realize why your life is really going bad, you can blame everybody and their mother, but you're going to be all alone and sad.
I also think it's because like the types of people who are like getting tattoos of someone they're not even married to are like a little bit impulsive, and that's more why it's bad than just the tattoo.
yeah.
Also, like, you have a bad tattoo now. Who gives a shit?
Just cover it up.
Yeah.
Loser, whatever.
Cover it up. Get something else. Get your brother's name because apparently you're fucking obsessed with him.
Man, she's going in on the brother right now.
Yeah.
Top Reddit comment by Mal's Pretty Bonnet writes, "That's fantastic. You have the power to bless or curse marriages. It's a fantastic side hustle, and I think there's a fortune to be made here."
That is the best comment ever.
It's true.
You win.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I have the same tattoo as my current boyfriend.
Wait,
but-
what?
But
Is it his name?
no.
Then you're fine.
But we got it before we were dating. We've been friends for a really long time.
Oh my
awesome.
God.
And
What are the
it's
chances?
this right there.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a smiley face.
No, that to me is different than getting your actual partner's name. Like, I think those just always end in disaster.
Yeah. That's a funny tattoo, by the way, because it looks like it's pen.
The smiley face. Well, it's the way I got it is we went to a show together, and the woman at the door just put she put 2 dots and a smiley on my hand so I can keep coming back in. And every time I looked at it, I'm like, this is making me so happy. I'm going to get this tattooed. And he's like, oh, that sounds like a really fun tattoo. I'm going to get it too. There's a third person who got it, a listener of Keith and the Girl, who also has it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is the new religion. And if you want to be a part of it, just get a smiley tattoo.
I love it.
We need our listeners to
smiley
get
tats.
tattoos, except I don't think either of us have any.
I have 0.
We have to lead
Much
the
to
way.
my dad's surprise.
So I think we all...
Your dad's surprised.
Yeah.
My dad thinks because I have nose rings that I also automatically have a tattoo. Literally.
I love that.
Definitely a correlation, but like...
Right, but no.
So the other one detail I wanted to talk about is According to OP, him and his partner have a tattoo of a memory. Like, what does that mean? That seems a bit broad for a tat. Like,
I think he just means like we didn't get like David, Joshua.
Yeah, but he's so like that's so much shade for his sister. He's like, at least we got something creative. It's
That's funny.
Okay, you still got a matching
but
tattoo.
like, why did he say a memory? Like, are you I'm like, is it a place? Is it an animal? Like, no, it's a whole memory. Is it like a series of scenes?
Yeah, it's a hologram actually. They
Yeah,
have those
like-
now.
I'll tell you what, it's a memory of their relationship at this point. Ew.
Hey, got him. Well, I think we agree on this. AITA for telling my sister a wedding tattoo is a curse, and now the curse is coming true. We all agreed. No assholes here.
No.
Wait, no, the sister is totally the asshole.
Oh,
Is she an asshole?
Yeah, she's going around telling them. It would be one thing if she just said it to him and she was mad, but she's going around telling their extended family that he somehow ruined her marriage with this dumbass comment.
Yeah, that's kooky. Yeah, all right.
In fact, that sounds so boring. Can you imagine somebody constantly going like, and then my brother ruined my relationship because he said something really bad to me? It's like,
And it made me subconsciously act some way for years. It's like, what are you talking about?
who's in control of your life, woman?
It's wild.
Yeah, she's kind of an asshole. But she's got about a year to like and I don't even like this behavior, but she gets a small pass for going through some shit.
Yeah.
You might be, reacting very poorly, but if you don't get your fucking reactions to things together, no one's going to like you except your aunt who really enjoys gossip about your brother. Ew. Find some friends. Gross.
So this is a new segment we're kind of trying out here. Fake post of the week. Sarah sent me to this. I mean, sent this to me. It could be real. I pray.
I really
But
hope it's fake.
it seems like it's around the corner. I'm so excited to see how Chemda reacts to this.
I hope it's the same brother and sister team and we find out they're
It
funny.
might be.
AITA for asking everyone to bring AirPods to my wedding. Do you hate it already? It gets so weird.
Already
Yeah.
the asshole. I can't stand it.
So me.
I don't like when people are like, do exactly this for my wedding.
Oh, you're not even ready. You're not even ready
AirPods
for how
though.
horrible this is.
AirPods.
So me, 26M, and my boyfriend's 38M wedding is being held in a VR room where a form of headset will be required. We've spoke with the event organizers and found that we can all add our AirPods to a central system so that we can all hear the ceremony at the same time. Problem is, my boyfriend's family are quite tight with their money and refuse to buy AirPods for the wedding. My boyfriend offered to pay, but I saw it would cost $1,200. It'd be 8 sets of AirPods.
So then you're tight with money.
This would cost the same price as my boyfriend's suit, and I told him that I don't feel comfortable with him being a charity to his family.
That's what a charity is?
Whoa.
I told him that it's not our problem that his family want to spoil my dream wedding, and that if they're going to be anal about it, to not come at all.
Ew, dream better.
Something I wouldn't be opposed to as my family doesn't like them. That's pretty brutal. My boyfriend feels betrayed and says that I'm being an asshole and they can just use wired earbuds, that it's me or his family.
That'll ruin my pictures.
Think about it. I'll be in his family from that day forward, but he called me an asshole. Reddit, AITA.
This reads like
I think this
how
might be
Parks and
real.
Rec would like satirize Tom Haverford's wedding. Like, how is this real? This is just they threw every millennial stereotype
I
into a
don't know.
blender.
I feel like there's a thing here, Sarah. We got two
What?
gay men, and there's a thing on Reddit like gamers. Like there's some gay men that are really into games, and so maybe that's why they want to do the VR thing.
Well, I would not
Oh,
put
God.
anything past people who are getting married. I just
It's true.
That's
they
so
have
true.
these demands, and I think what people forget is when you're getting married, everything that you're doing is for your guests to enjoy themselves, not to have a pretty princess wedding for pictures.
Is that true? Do you believe that?
Well, that's what it should be, but that's not how people act.
I think every party you should consider the guests that are coming. If your guests don't have the money for AirPods, you're not having that party. You're having a different party for AirPod assholes. And I love my AirPods. Let me just make that very clear. They're so good. I mean, it's amazing. But I don't expect everybody to have an AirPod or you're going to ruin my wedding. You're such a cunt.
Also, a $1,200 suit seems like steep.
I
Right?
thought you got away with
No,
murder on a
that's not
$1,200
very
wedding
much.
anything.
Yeah.
For one suit?
I don't know. I had food trucks.
I mean, it
Wow.
depends how. You had food
That's
trucks at your wedding?
rough.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, it was so fun.
How many were there?
I should say food truck.
That's cute. I feel like a lot of people
cool.
do that nowadays.
Yeah, it was in the backyard. We happened to live above our landlords, and they had this backyard in their part of the home. We asked to borrow it. We said like, oh, we'll rent it from you, but we knew that they would just give it to us. And we just kind of had this lovely day of, hey, just come in waves of people. We'll be around all day. That, and we also got married on Maui because he's from there. But that was a smaller wedding, and we didn't expect people to come. You know, it was just kind of like, we have this space, and his parents are wedding coordinators on Maui, so we got everything free. So.
I like, you're really playing this out like you're super modest and like low
we're
key.
divorced now, so don't even worry about it.
Low key, one food truck. Oh yeah, and then we did have a second one in Maui. You know, just super like normal thing.
I know, I'm so charming.
So I actually did want to ask. I'm happy you brought up the divorce because like. I've understood this. Like, I'm so excited for my friends to start divorcing, but what does go down? Like, I actually do have one friend who got married a second time and she had a much smaller second ceremony. Is that almost always how that goes? Or
maybe it's, to me, we had this opportunity for Maui. Like, really, I wouldn't do that. But the cake was free and the food was like, wholesale price. And actually also his parents were paying for it. So I just kind of let them really plan it.
But that was a second ceremony for one wedding, right? I'm saying if you got married again or like when people get married the second time.
It depends because I really like parties. Yeah. And so I like parties that really everyone could have a good time. It's not about the photography or people matching anything. So if I wanted to throw a party and I'm calling it a wedding because that's an excuse for everybody to come, that's why I throw birthday parties. That's why I don't believe in Thanksgiving, but I will have you over for Thanksgiving. I was raised Jewish, but I have hosted Christmas. For me, it's just, can I feed people? Can we have a nice time? Can people enjoy themselves? Can I see my friends? So I don't know, maybe.
I feel like you're rare in this world.
Yeah.
People get so intense about weddings these days, especially with Instagram.
And I think it's really tough because I think we are used to productions and producing things, and it's a big production, but it wasn't for me because I produced Keith and the Girl, I've produced live events, and I know that it's just, baby steps to the end and nothing. I didn't expect anything to come out the way I wanted, so it was a pleasure.
That is so good. My girlfriend's going to be mad at me for saying this, but I need her to take that attitude in a little bit.
It's tough because you're also paying a shit ton of money. You expect people to do their jobs, but you also want, like the wedding planner with J-Lo. You want that because that's what we're being sold all the time. But the truth is it's not going to be in your pacing. Someone's going to cry because they're having a bad day. It is your day, but you really, really have to consider sharing it with the people who came out to congratulate you and remember that you're getting married and all you're doing is asking people to come and watch you love someone.
Right.
Like you can just do that in your home and we'll accept your love, So the
get
fact
a webcam if you want.
The fact that people came out, you should be very thankful. Not in like thank you cards, because I did not do that. Everything was digital. I'm not about to spend money on your calligraphy.
I was at a wedding recently and we were just talking about, weddings. What else do you do at a wedding? Anyway, this girl goes, I told her about the podcast. She's like, I actually have a story that I think fits the bill.
Yes.
She, her best friend gave a speech at her wedding and she was like the final speech. It was like, the longest speech. And there was something about diarrhea. I forgot. It was like she, the bride to be or the bride basically had diarrhea and the boyfriend was there like giving her soup or something like that. Aww. So, and it was kind of a cute story that had been told, but then this best friend came and gave her speech and she hit diarrhea once and got nothing. Like it didn't get any laughs. And then she just like quintupled down and made like 10 diarrhea references. Wouldn't get off. She was up there for like 10 minutes. And finally it reached that point where someone was like, we gotta just get her out of there. Like, she's not going to stop. And so they kind of pushed her off stage.
Poor girl.
Yeah. I mean, it was gentle, it wasn't like super brutal or like they didn't like embarrass. She embarrassed herself, but she could never acknowledge it. And then they just weren't friends now.
Oh,
because
that's
of a
so
bad
sad.
speech?
Well, it
that
wasn't that
sucks.
the speech was so bad.
Is
It
that
was
the
like,
relationship was already shitty? Oh, diarrhea.
well, there we go. No, she just
better
wouldn't. She
diarrhea
wouldn't
joke.
own it, Sarah. Like she wouldn't be like, "Hey, I'm really sorry." Instead, she was like deeply offended that she got pushed off. You know, that she was told to end her speech, and it was like, "Well, no, you fucked up." Like,
I also think people put way too much emphasis on wedding speeches. No one's gonna remember. People get like so nervous that they end up getting like blackout before the speech, and it's like, oh my God, why? You're talking to a bunch of people you don't know who aren't gonna remember this anyway.
But we're talking on mic, so it's a little bit easier for us to stand there and, maybe not land a joke and switch to a different place. But she might have just landed everything wrong and just wanted, her friend's love. Like, look, whatever. I get why that would be funny. The end. But if you can't work that out, there's probably some history there. If it's hysterical, it's historical.
Ooh.
there we go. I mean, and I
Let's
think
get
it's
the
just
tea.
owning the bomb, and a lot of people can't own the bomb. And it's
No, but is she a performer? Because then you
No.
can't expect her
No.
to own anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Then she did a good job. If
mean,
she's
yeah.
not a performer and she stood up there and didn't faint and didn't have diarrhea herself,
Ha.
the end. Why are you asking someone to do something that's not comfortable
You
for
don't
them because
feel-
it's your day?
you don't feel like she owes an apology?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like she could have made a self-deprecating joke about it and that would have sufficed, but I also think this would have been a thing where you could just both pretend it didn't happen and let it go. If you're that good of friends with someone that they're giving a speech at your wedding,
It was
I
her
think-
best friend. It was her best
yeah,
friend.
so you're clearly good friends. So if this speech was the like straw that broke your friendship, then I think something else was going on.
Well,
Of course.
she was ready to forgive. It's just like, I don't know. But yeah, I begged this girl to submit to the pod. So hopefully
Yes.
one day she'll come through with all the
Okay.
details.
Give your friend a break. That's so, she might have ate it and just wants to remember it nicely. Give her that memory.
I don't know. You got to own the bomb, Chemda. You got to own the bomb.
Yes, as a stand-up comic, you do.
No, in life, I think you have to own the bombs,
Of course
right?
you do, but you also have to be gentle on a person who's never done that before, who you're calling your best friend.
I know, but like, I don't know. I just don't think it's fair enough. Like, fair enough if you don't want to like delve into it with that person so they have to relive the trauma of bombing. I know it's traumatic. It's all I've ever done. But
You're doing great, Danny.
hey, okay. More tea. Piano wire. I need it. It's turning me on. No, I think that some people, like I knew some comics who wouldn't even own the bomb, and it's like sometimes you're going to do things in life that you fail at. That doesn't make you a bad person.
Why are you making your wedding her learning lesson? Fuck off. If a comic can't stand his bombing, they gotta.
But
they
because
gotta earn.
it was her intent. Okay, it was her intent. Like if she went up there and she's like, I love her.
That's
I
the
love
same thing
her.
as saying diarrhea.
No,
over and
it's
over
not.
Again. Yes, it
Chemda.
is.
I think
Because
it
she was
kind
trying
of
to
is.
embarrass her.
No, I think she was like, wait, why isn't this funny? What if I word it 5 different ways? Eventually I'll get a laugh.
She was bombing.
It's the same.
I don't
bomb.
We need the
I don't
story
think this
now.
like requires an apology from anyone. I think they just should have both let it go.
I like how
don't-
we're
don't get it.
arguing about my shitty memory, which I have terrible memory. I probably forgot every detail. It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. Get ready for this, Chemda. You're going to hate this
boy.
person. Everyone hates this person. AITA for refusing to leave someone else's seats in an empty theater.
Uh-oh.
Me and a friend had an impromptu last-minute Saturday afternoon cinema visit. We saw It, Chapter 2. When we booked the tickets, the attendant asked us what seats we wanted, and we just picked 2 at random. And it is indicated the cinema was largely empty. On getting into the cinema, by the way, who the fuck says the cinema? It's a movie theater.
So specific.
There was a less than 24 people in, say, a 200-seat cinema. So we just decided to sit where we fancied. About 15 minutes later, 2 more people came into the cinema and approached us to say that we were in their seats and asked us to move. I responded by saying that the cinema is empty, so I'm sure they could find somewhere else to sit. The row to my right, the middle section. The one up was completely empty, for example. They repeated that we were in their seats and again asked us to move. And I then slowly repeated that they could sit anywhere. The one talking just then stood and stared at me and their friend, then led her away to different seats. I get that we were not in our assigned seats, but had the cinema, God, how many times are they going to say been even half full, I would have sat where our tickets indicated, but it's Saturday afternoon in a near empty cinema. God damn it, AITA for not moving.
You're a cunt and I would have fought you.
Wow.
And
I like that Hem is the first one to say the C word on the podcast.
I love that.
I don't understand. If they could sit anywhere, so can you. Clearly, they were specific and they indicated that on their ticket. If you so don't care and are so easy breezy, move the fuck out of my seat.
Yeah, that is
Right.
clearly not your seat. Like,
What
this
a
is such
monster.
a clear cut. Yeah, clear cut. You're the monster. Like,
You know what? I don't even
Ow.
like you listening to this show anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
oh wow,
I
they're
don't
gonna
even
listen to this.
understand
Whatever, I stand by it.
how they could justify that. I mean, it's just such a crazy
What do
thing.
you
Yeah.
care? Well, if you're asking me to not care, why don't you not care first and get the fuck up? Oh,
so
my
wild.
God. I would have fought you the whole time.
Yeah, you're so clearly
Now I'm
the
standing.
asshole.
Now I'm standing here during your cinematic experience.
Isaac B writes, YTA, especially if you buy your tickets online. Unfortunately, you have to pay extra for buying tickets early and seat reservations. I've never actually
No, you
seen
don't.
that. Yeah, I thought it was.
It's just included now. If you get those ones with like the recliner seats, you have to choose where you're sitting.
yeah, it's either all res or no res.
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah C says there were 200 apples on the rack, and I decided to take 2 out of someone else's cart instead. Then acted shocked when they wanted them back. AITA.
Exactly.
That actually seems like less of a crime because it's like, well, they got to go get more apples, but they have to watch a movie in a suboptimal seat.
Come on, they probably picked really hard. Like,
And also, why are you deciding that Saturday afternoon is a breezy time for other people? I made plans. Decide what's easy breezy for your ass and move.
Right.
That's
It
so
seems
crazy.
like borderline peak time for a movie. I mean, anytime on the weekends.
Yeah.
Jenna C says, YTA, not in this situation. It just seems generally.
That was just what I was thinking. I'm in love with
Yeah.
that person.
What's it like to feel like you're entitled to something someone else reserved? How do you go about life this way?
Natasha Petty, I just had to read her whole name because her last name
Love
is
it.
Petty. You gotta love that.
Oh, yeah.
YA absolutely TA. When I go to the movies, I select a seat that is best for my viewing, as do most people, and that is the seat I want and paid for. For you to refuse to move just shows your immaturity and selfishness. If that had been a Broadway show, bet and believe the ushers would have made you move. It's no different.
Honestly, I probably would have gone full Petty and gotten like that teenager who's working the movie who just wants to not be bothered to kick you out of your seat.
Hell yeah, Sarah. Hell yeah. If I don't want the confrontation, someone else is going to have to take it. This
Yeah.
is madness.
Now you got to
Madness.
deal with Brandon who just wants to go back to watching Netflix on his phone.
Are you going to also look at my popcorn and decide that that's too much for one human being? Like, what is your problem? I want my own experience just like you want yours, but I should be breezier than this. Oh, your wedding's going to be super fun. Cunt.
Are you confrontational?
No. I'm not at all. What do you mean?
Nice to meet you. I have learned to be confrontational when it's necessary to stand up for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
let's say like
yeah.
if we're in this studio, there'll be a knock on the door and it's like the people come in here and they just start soliciting things and like Andrea will be nice at the door and Keith will be like polite and I'm like from this room I'll yell like close the fucking door and tell them if they don't leave, I'm going to fucking kick their ass. Or I'll just like slam the door on them. Or I'll be like, you're in the building illegally. What is wrong with you? Because they're so aggressive and they count on social norms for you not to push back.
Right.
But really, they're stealing your time and they're being really inappropriate. And most likely it's a scam and they want you to be polite about it. And I think that's rude.
Absolutely.
That is
And just so you guys understand, like the building that this studio is in, like has like an intercom to even get in. So it's like this person is not, obviously that's not allowed to go. They're essentially inside. I mean, they're inside the building.
Yeah.
Craziness. So I actually have a story about, and Chemda and Keith love to roast me for being a big Yelpy boy. Well,
It's more Keith, just to...
fair enough. Well, I got a little bit of Yelp in real life. Go out to brunch this Saturday, and I ordered a breakfast flatbread, a breakfast pizza for you unrefined swine. And
That's the kind of yelping he does.
I get my flatbread, and it was delicious. It had pork and pineapple. It was a really interesting dish.
Pineapple on your flatbread, you're white.
I know, but it was interesting, Sarah. But there was just one small problem. The middle was really floppy. I couldn't actually eat it like a pizza. I had to, I couldn't even try. You know when you do the triangle fold and then you
Yep.
nope, couldn't even do that. I had to fold it back onto itself. So the manager comes up super bubbly. Hey guys, I just wanted to know, how's everything going? And I said, hey, I love the pizza. I would never send it back. But since you're asking, just so you know, the middle's a little bit soggy.
Love it.
It's a little bit floppy.
Oh my God, we got Gordon Ramsay over here.
She goes, it's on me. I got the pizza for free. I ate the whole damn thing.
That's
Wow.
great.
That's nice of her.
Good manager. I mean, if she is asking.
Yeah.
You're not like this. I don't like the people who are like, and I'm not tipping the waiter now.
Oh, no.
no. Fuck those
How was it
people.
his fault?
Oh my God. I was on a date. I didn't know I was on a date. This is back in the day. It's like 20 years ago.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. And I'm just like, oh, let's just hang out with this dude. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm on a date. And he like sent his food back for whatever reason. He was right.
Okay.
And then I saw like I think he paid and he tipped. And we were passing by the table on the way out, and I put more tip down. And I was trying to be really subtle about it. You're welcome. And then he called me out on it outside. He's like, I saw you tip more. And I was like, well, I saw you tip shitty. So I don't know.
Oh, we've
How to-
actually done
Got
this
him.
in a situation.
It's not like he's like, well, I had to send the food back. And I was like, how is that your waiter's fault? You know that waiters don't get paid unless you tip them. So
Right.
they did the right thing. They went back. They talked to the cook. They got you back your food in time.
Yeah.
And we had a lovely time. I mean, whatever. I don't know if you had a lovely time, but they did their job.
Wow. Do you think he understood that waiters don't also cook the food?
I think he doesn't
just a
understand
dumbass.
anything. And I decided to make balloons in the park for kids instead of hanging out with him for the rest of the day.
And his name is Keith. Well, Chemda, it's been so fun having you.
This
It's been
is so
Yeah,
fun.
it's been great.
absolute blast. We'll definitely have you back. And
Yay.
we've got Keith on the next episode.
He's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, guys, listen to Keith and the Girl. It's been around forever. It's an amazing podcast. So funny. Comes out 3 times a week? 5? Is it? Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Yeah, we're past 3,000 episodes.
Oh
We're
my
insane,
God.
basically. Yeah.
How do you have that much to talk about?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I'm chatty. We have an annual 24-hour marathon where we talk for 24 hours straight. And then I still go home and like hang out with people and talk.
Oh my God.
I am
love it.
insane. I think it energizes me to like, kind of run things and like back and forth with people.
Oh my God.
It's
Awesome.
really amazing. I was telling Ronnie, who my friend Ronnie Fleming was on the show.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
Yeah, check out that episode. And I was just saying how funny you guys are, and,
Thank you.
how funny, and like how every time I do your show, I'm always like, oh, we got to like get that on our podcast and like figure out, because you guys have such a good rapport and like the energy is so good. And
You are such a delight. It'd be great to have both of you on, or like, stop having Danny on, have Sara on.
Yeah.
that's fine. That hasn't happened
Love it.
before. Not everyone has left me. No, but he just put it so perfectly. He just goes, yeah, man, those people talk for a living. And I was like, damn, you're right. That's pretty much it.
That's baller.
That's good that you enjoy it.
I really love it. Really, really love it. It's a dream I didn't know I had, because, it's not like my
Wow.
guidance counselor was like, you could podcast later.
Also, what's an iPod? It hasn't been invented yet. That's great. Well, is there anything else you want to plug? Anything else these people should look at?
I would love it if you guys listen to Keith and the Girl. And thank you guys for listening to me on this show. Appreciate it and having me on.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Support local clowns. All right, guys. We'll see you next Monday morning.